What if I told you that there's a hidden truth inside you? A quiet, powerful force that has the potential to change how you see yourself, and the world, completely. It's something you can't touch, measure, or even see, but it shapes every decision you make and every thought that passes through your mind. Today, we're going to dive deep into this mysterious truth and explore what it really means to be human. But before we get started, if you're anything like me and fascinated by the mind, soul, and the universe, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's take this journey together. Imagine, just for a second, that every emotion, thought, and experience in your life is part of something bigger. A set of universal laws that shape not just the physical world, but the emotional and mental one too. Sounds like something from a movie or a science fiction book, right? But what if I told you that wise people across history have been saying this exact thing for centuries? Think about it. What would change if you suddenly realized that even your smallest daily choices were connected to a greater force? Have you ever had that feeling, like something beyond you was guiding your actions? Like a silent nudge steering you, even when you tried to ignore it? That's not just coincidence. And it's not your imagination either. It's something real. Something built into the core of who you are. And today, we're going to walk through it, step by step, so you can begin to see it in your own life. Just think for a moment. From the second you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, your mind is flooded with emotions, thoughts, and outside noise. Sometimes it feels like we're just reacting, without any real control. But what if I told you that there's a kind of order in all that chaos? A sense of direction, not from the world around you, but from deep inside you. Like a built-in compass pointing you toward what really matters. Now pause and think. How many times have you made choices just because others expected you to? Or because it felt like the right thing, even though your heart wasn't in it? How often have you followed a path that didn't feel like yours? This happens because we tune out that inner voice, the one quietly trying to guide us. But imagine if you started listening to it. If you paid attention to the subtle signals it sends, even when they go against everything you've been taught. That force isn't new. It's always been there. You've felt it in every moment of sudden clarity, every insight, every time you just knew something was right without knowing why. Great thinkers have talked about it for centuries. Seneca once said that true wisdom begins with realizing how little we really know. Nietzsche said that what doesn't break us makes us stronger. These ideas stuck around because they speak to something deep and universal. But here's what's important. Just knowing this force exists isn't enough. The real magic starts when you actually connect with it, when you learn to hear what it's telling you. And that takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a journey. One that takes patience, compassion for yourself, and above all, courage. Courage to face what you might find when you really start looking inward. I've walked that path myself. I've had moments where I felt totally lost, like I was just spinning in circles. I followed advice, tried to fit in with what I thought the world wanted, but deep inside, something was missing. Everything shifted when I finally stopped and started listening to that quiet voice within. It wasn't easy, I won't lie. Some days it felt like I was fighting against everything I'd ever known. But slowly, I began to see patterns. I started noticing connections between what I felt and what was happening around me. That changed everything. So think with me, what if you could tap into that same wisdom? What if you could see life not as a bunch of random events, but as part of a bigger flow, where every thought, choice, and action has meaning? Would that shift how you live? Would it change how you see yourself? Now picture this. That inner force, that silent compass inside you, it's not just yours or mine. It's part of something massive. A force that connects all of us, like pieces in a giant cosmic puzzle. What if I told you that by reaching into yourself, you're also touching something timeless, something universal? It might sound dramatic, even unbelievable, but ancient traditions and modern thinkers have both pointed toward this idea. Think of Plato, who spoke about a higher world of universal truths. Or Nietzsche, who encouraged us to defy social norms and embrace who we really are, even in the face of chaos. These thinkers lived in totally different times, but they were reaching for the same truth. there's something inside us that goes beyond logic and senses. And that something can transform your life, and how you relate to the world around you. But here's the real challenge. How do you access this force? How do you actually hear that voice inside? The answer might surprise you. It's silence. Yeah, silence. In a world filled with constant noise, finding a moment of true stillness is rare. But it's in that stillness that we hear what matters most. When we stop chasing answers from the outside, the voice within starts speaking louder. I remember a time when I shut off everything for a weekend. No phone, no screens, no distractions. At first, it was uncomfortable. My thoughts got loud. I wanted to quit. But after a while, something shifted. I felt a peace I hadn't felt in years. I was finally hearing myself again. And it made me wonder, are we so busy trying to fill our lives that we forget to just be? Are we missing the treasure we already carry inside us? That's a powerful question, because the answer can change your life. Think with me. What if everything you truly need is already within you? What if, instead of searching for answers outside, you just listen to that inner voice? That doesn't mean you stop learning or exploring. It means you balance outside knowledge with inner truth. Like two sides of the same coin, one feeds your mind, the other feeds your soul. And here's something even more beautiful. You don't need to earn or find this wisdom. It's already inside you. We just lose touch with it because the world keeps shouting at us, telling us who to be, how to think, what to want. And we forget who we really are. Have you ever said yes when you wanted to say no? Gone down a road that felt wrong the whole time? That's the cost of ignoring your true self. But what if I told you, you can change that? You can make choices based on your truth, not others' expectations. It's not easy in a world that's always trying to shape you. But just imagine. What if instead of following the crowd, you listen to your soul? Not the version of you shaped by fear or pressure, but the deep, true you. That's where real transformation begins. And here's the wild part. That voice inside you isn't just yours. It's part of something bigger, something shared. Like an invisible web linking all of us. When you tap into that, you start making choices that ripple out, influencing more than just your own life. Ever think about how your small decisions impact others? Saying something kind. Holding back a harsh word. These little things can shift everything. That's part of the energy we're talking about, the force that's always moving through us and around us. Now imagine this. What if your whole life is part of a larger cycle? A rhythm that moves and expands over time? That doesn't mean you're powerless. It means you're learning how to move with life, not against it. Every step you take becomes part of a greater dance. But here's the real secret. This only works if you're brave enough to face discomfort. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when you explore the dark corners inside, the parts you usually avoid. That's where the truth is. And yes, it's hard. You'll need patience, courage, and a lot of self-compassion. I've been there. Trying to live by the rules, do everything right, but still feeling empty. It wasn't until I looked inward, faced my fears and wounds, that I started to find peace. It took time. It hurt. But I discovered that everything I was looking for had been inside me the whole time. Here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to be ready. Everything you need is already within you, right now. So what if you started today? Took the first small step toward your truth? Would that change how you live? How you see the world? How you see yourself? Let's go back to where we started. What if I told you there's something invisible inside you, something powerful, that can completely transform your life? Now you see why it changes everything. That force isn't far away. It's right here, waiting for you to notice it. And when you do, it's not just your life that changes. You become part of something much greater than yourself. So, are you ready to unlock this spiritual code? To take that first step toward a life shaped by something deeper than anything the outside world can offer? If you made it this far, drop a comment with God, or tell me if you've ever felt this connection in your own life. I'd love to hear your story. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear these words.